Okay, so now today we will discuss about architecture of SAP. So before we are going to discuss about an architecture of SAP, we need to discuss about a two-tier architecture and three-tier architecture. Okay, so do you have any idea? Anyone from the class having any idea on two-tier architecture? Anyone?
Yeah,
Yes.
two-tier it involves application server
Hmm?
and presentation and database, but the database and presentation, sorry, the database and application layer, I mean, these servers are put in one side,
Mm-hmm.
whereas an presentation is in the different
Yes,
box.
very good. Nice one. Okay, so two-tier architecture. This is also called as a client server architecture. Okay, okay. We will take an example. Let us take, okay. So if any bank, let us assume HDFC is a bank. Okay. Now they have around 2000 users they have. Let us assume. Okay, 2000 customers. So till now they are not provided internet banking. So now they want to give an internet banking to the customers. So if they want to give an internet banking to a customer, so what they need to do now? What they need to do? If they want to provide an internet banking, what they need to do? Need to build up server, right? So in which base they will build the server? Tell me. On which basis they will build the server? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, tell me. So on which basis they will build the server?
Based on requirement,
So what's our requirement? Now what is our requirement? What is our requirement now?
uh, to give the internet banking to the all the HDFC customers.
Users. Okay. So how many users we have?
users
Depends upon
2000.
2000,
users. Okay. Users are 2000. And then so these 2000 customers, how many transactions may they will do? Right? Means credit amount or debit amount per day. Transactions per day maybe on average 4000, let us assume. Okay, so depends upon the users and transaction they will build the server, means how much RAM we required, how much database we needed, and which processor is good for our business. So so as per the users and transaction they will build the server, right?
yes,
Okay, so they build the server. Now all users are able to access the internet banking now. Okay, so they will get the internet banking from this server. That's fine now. Okay, whenever user wants to execute anything, they will get a response in 6 milliseconds. Okay, this is called response time. Okay, 6 milliseconds. Okay, now after some time, so 6 milliseconds means you are providing good service, right? Means if you want to
yeah,
book a ticket or maybe something else than that, within fraction of seconds you can able to book it. So it means you are providing good service. Automatically they will refer their friends and their friends, and after some time now your users are increased to double. Means users now it's 4000. If users increased automatically, what happened?
Load also.
performance will
Transactions will increase. The transactions increase automatically, the load on the server increase, right? Once the load on the server increase, automatically
Response time also increases.
increase. If response time increase, automatically
Performance decrease.
customers will decrease, right? Means they will not do the transaction from your bank.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now as the administrators, we need to provide a good response time to the users, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then what we will do now?
Increase the
Hmm? Yes. What we need to increase? That's right. But what we need to increase?
server capacities.
Server capacity. So now what is the main problem now? What is the main issue?
Load issue actually is response time
So
got
yeah,
increases.
so if your load increase, so finally the result is response time
Response
increases.
time
So
increases.
customers not required the load, not required the transactions about, not required the users about. They required a good response time. So if
Yes.
you want to provide a good response time, what component you need to take care in the server?
RAM.
Database.
Yes, no, RAM. So if you want to
Okay.
speed up of your system, you require a RAM, right? Okay, now let us assume I have a 16 GB RAM initially. So it can able to support so normally around 2000 users, let us assume. Now it's 4000. So I thought that I was added another 16 GB now. Now again, the everything is fine. In a fraction of 6 milliseconds, we are getting a result. That's fine. After some time, again, my users are increased to another 4000. Then transactions increase, then load, and the same happen now. Now the 30 minutes now. The response time is 30 minutes now. It means if you want to book a ticket or maybe if you want to buy anything on online, once you book, once you select the proper product, then after you give the bank details, you need to wait till 30 minutes to get that product. So how much irritation we will get on the time, right? So
Yes.
then what you will do now? What you will do now in this case?
Now there is no chance. We have to.
Hmm? Why you are not using the earlier suggestion?
Because actually there is some limit for the system.
Very good, very good.
After that,
So see, if in case if users wants to increase another 16 GB, you have the money, you have, so you can able to buy the RAM. But each and every system on the server have its own limitations. Okay, beyond that limit, we can't. Right? Maybe the server capability is maximum is 32 GB. So more than that, you can't increase. Okay, so in this scenario what you will do now? What you will do now in this scenario?
we have to maintain separate server.
We have to
Integrate.
maintain so you're saying that we have to maintain separate server. Let us assume
Yeah.
this is presentation layer, so is nothing but users will connect it from their desktops.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have a server 1 containing RAM. So anyone getting disturbance?
Yeah. Little bit.
Yeah. Little bit.
Okay. Yeah, Murari, we are getting some noises from your side only. Check once, maybe your headset is not working properly, so that's why we are getting that type of disturbance. Check now. Okay, so server 1. So in the server 1 we have a RAM and as well as hard disk is nothing but database, right? Okay,
Yes.
whenever user interacts with the server, it will get the data from database. Okay, now you're saying that I want to add one more server to decrease the load, right? Okay,
Yes.
he also need to maintain RAM, sorry, need to maintain RAM,
Database.
RAM plus database. Okay, now user, so maybe I am the HDFC bank customer. We are maintaining two servers. In the morning when I log into the bank, may I connected to the server 1. Okay, so when I connected to the server 1, if I click on my account balance details, so it's showing 4 lakhs. Okay, in the evening I am trying to connect to the HDFC bank. Maybe the server is filled up, so that's why it's routing to server 2. When I check the balance in server 2, also need to show the same thing, right? Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
now I log on to the server 2 and I transferred some money to my friend. So now what is the balance now in server 2?
2 lakhs.
2
2
lakhs.
lakhs.
So it's automatically need to sync with server 1 as well.
Yes.
Right? Maybe in
Okay.
the morning if I connected to the server 1, it need to show 2 lakhs only, not 4 lakhs. Right? Okay. It means
Yes.
here we need to use the sync also. Okay. Okay. Then another problem now we will discuss. Then see the database here we are maintaining about my information is here and here. If you are maintaining one more server, there also you need to maintain the same data. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it means in each and every server you need to maintain the same data. You're wasting so much of database space, right? Right? So that's
Yes.
why.
Yes.
So for large scale industries or maybe big businesses will not supported by two-tier architecture. Okay, so that's why we are going to three-tier architecture. Okay, so what is the disadvantage in two-tier architecture? Tell me anyone. What is the disadvantage now in two-tier architecture?
The database space is not utilized properly,
Yes, we are not utilizing properly and we are wasting so much of money also,
and the
right?
performance will also be decreased for the customers.
Okay, so it means if you are maintaining one server, okay, so performance is also decreasing. And if in case, okay, sir, I don't want to use two servers, then take a one server with a high configuration as per present users and transactions, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So again, what about the existing server? What about the existing server? That is a waste of cost again, right? So
Yes.
that's the reason we are going to the three-tier architecture. In three-tier architecture, we overcome the situation, we overcome the disadvantage which we have in a two-tier. Okay, that we will see now. So in a three-tier architecture, we have presentation layer and application layer and database layer. Okay, okay. So what is the presentation layer? What is presentation layer? Presentation layer like is our desktop. We can give the inputs and see the results. Okay, so whenever you are giving the input and before see the result, something is executing. That's the reason it's providing the result. So that will be executed in application layer. Whenever it's executing, if it require any data from the database, it will fetch the data from the database. Or maybe if it want to write the data into the database, it will write into the database. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is three-tier architecture. Okay. Now let us assume the same scenario like earlier. This server we are using three-tier architecture in HDFC Bank. Now users are 2000, transactions is 4000. As per the users and transactions, I built my server one and I kept in application layer. Whenever user is giving any input, it will come to the application layer and it will assign to the server and it's executing. If it required any data from the database, it will fetch the data. Or if you want to write the data into the database, it will write into the database. That's fine. After some time, my users are increased. Then need to increase the RAM. Okay. Now it's reached its peak. Then what we need to do? We need to add one more server. Sir, you're saying that in a two-tier architecture we are not able to add. How we can add the server to in a three-tier architecture? That you have a question in your mind, right? So in a two-tier
Yeah.
architecture, the presentation layer is separate and application and the database in a single site, as like someone told me earlier in the class. Okay, so it means everywhere we are maintaining a database. Whenever user giving a input, it will connect it to the server and it will check that server database only. But here, whether you connected system server 1 or server 2, it accessing single database, not individual database. So you are not wasting any. So you are using your database, you are utilizing the database properly. So you are not wasting any money. Okay, this is clear everyone. So like that in application layer you can add n number of servers.
Okay.
Okay, so everyone is clear? Murari, Chandrasekhar and Jivan.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Is there any name like today architecture is called as client server architecture, and
Yes, three
three
tiles,
tier
three
you
tiles,
have
that's
any?
it. No, no,
That's it.
nothing, nothing. Okay, okay, it's fine. Now, okay, now, so you have a one doubt, sir. Why we need to? As the basic, we are the basis consultants. So why we need to discuss about the two tier and three tier? We are not a system admins, right? So why we are discussing about the two tier and three tier is SAP supports three tier architecture. Okay, so that's the reason SAP systems we called as a R3 systems. SAP systems we called as a R3. R3 is nothing but real time three tier architecture in data processing. Okay, is clear everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, so now we will discuss about an architecture of SAP. So now this is clear about. So in it, whenever we are discussing about the three architecture of SAP, there are three layers. One is the presentation and application and database layers, right? Okay. Now I will show you the diagrams which we have for architecture of SAP. Able to see this diagram now?
Yeah.
Okay, so now here this is a presentation layer, this is an application layer, this is a database layer. Sorry. Okay, now see presentation, application and database layer. Okay, so users will give the inputs to the presentation layer. Then this is an application layer. Okay, so now what you are able to see in application layer in 3D architecture as per earlier discussion.
Having different servers.
So server, so we can able to see the servers, but in the treated in the architecture of SAP, what you are able to see here, two components. One is called an instance, another one is called a work process. Okay, sir, what is an instance? So instance is nothing but an application server. Instance is nothing but
Application
application
server.
server. What is application server? What is application server? So if you're running any application in a server, is nothing but an application server. If that application is SAP, that is called instance. Everyone is clear about what exactly is an instance is?
Yeah.
Can you please repeat once?
Instance is an application server.
Okay.
Okay, and so what is application server? If you're running any application in a server, we call it as an application server. Okay, if that application is SAP, that server we called as the instance. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now what instance will do, whenever user giving any input to the presentation layer, that will come to the application layer, then it will assign to the related instance, related server. Okay, then what instance will do, instance having all the information of work process here, all the information of work process, that is from 1 to n. Okay, means what is the status, sir? Work process. Okay, now I am using one work process one, so that will be in running state. Another one is waiting state, means busy or free. So in this instance, how many work process we have, and each and which one is in a running state or which one is in a waiting state, that information have the instance. Got it? This is clear, everyone?
No, can you please repeat it once again?
So each and every instance containing the status of work process.
Okay.
Okay, whether it's a free or running,
Okay.
whether it's a free or busy. So as per the status of work process, instance will assign the work to work process.
Okay.
Okay, so is nothing but instance is a manager.
Okay.
These all are the associates. If
Okay.
any associate is free, manager will assign the work. The same scenario it follows here.
Okay.
Okay, 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 this is fine. Now, so whenever work is assigned to the work process as per the status, then what work process will do, work process we also call as a executable element. Got it? Work process is called executable element. It will execute the work which is assigned by the instance. Okay, whenever it's executing, if it required any data from the database, it will fetch the data, or if it want to write the data into the database, it will write into the database. Okay, this is clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is now again we will discuss one thing. Whenever user giving any input, it will give to the presentation layer, then it will come to the application layer, then it will assign to the proper instance, then instance having all the information of work process status. So as per the work process status, instance will assign the work to work process. Work process we also call as an executable element. It will execute the work which is assigned by the instance. Whenever it's executing, if it required any data from the database, it will fetch the data, or if it want to write the data into the database, it will write into the database. This is clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, now coming to, let us assume, so now see earlier in an application layer you can able to see the multiple instances, right? So in SAP, each and every system can capability to maintain maximum of 100 instances, that is from 00 to 99. Okay, and each and every instance containing n number of work process, that is from 1 to n. Okay, this is clear, everyone? Any doubts till now? If you have any doubts, ask me, don't feel shy. Okay, this is clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now the next concept is, okay, I told you instance having all the information of work process status and all. So now I want to know how it is knowing and what are the internal components of instances that I want to know. Then now see, this is a small organization, so that's why I have only one instance in the application layer. Now this is a presentation layer. This is only one instance I have in the application layer and database layer. This is clear. The diagram is clear now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there are 5 users in my organization. Let us assume. Now inside the instance we have a two components. One is a dispatcher, another one is queue inside the instance. So each and I told you in application layer we have a multiple instances, right? So each and every instance containing two components. One is dispatcher, another one is queue. Okay,
Okay.
okay, and it followed by the work process. Okay, this is fine. Sir, what is dispatcher? Dispatcher, so see, the dispatcher is an internal component of instance and dispatcher have all the information of work process. Okay? Why? Because the dispatcher is the internal component of instance. How the instance is knowing? So inside the instance we have a dispatcher. That dispatcher is telling to the instance how many are free. So dispatcher is like a team lead. Manager, team lead, associates. Who knows that associate whether he is a busy or free? Team lead. So manager will contact to the team lead. If team lead tell he is free, then manager will assign the work. Got it? This is clear? Okay. Now
Yes.
see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 users are there. Now first user wants to execute something. So he give input to the presentation layer, then it will come to the application layer, then it will assign to the instance. Then instance will communicate with the dispatcher. Instance will ask the dispatcher whenever the work is assigned to the instance. Dispatcher, tell me how many work process we have and how many are free and how many are running. So this is the first user is login, right? So then dispatcher says to the instance, okay, all are busy, sir. Okay. Then instance will assign the work to work process as per the status.
Okay.
Okay. But it will not assign a user 1 to work process 1, user 2 to work process 2. It will assign randomly.
Okay.
Okay. It will assign randomly. So now maybe
Randomly.
the user 1 may assign to work process 2. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, it was assigned to work process 2. Let us assume it means the status will changes to running,
Oh yes.
right? So these two are waiting. Okay, now third user wants to execute something, so the same scenario will happen here. It come to the instance asks the dispatcher says that 1 and 3 are free, sir. Okay, then 3 is assigned to the work process 1, so its status changes to running. Okay, now how many are free now? Only 3. Now
One.
only 1. So now fourth user wants to execute something, the same happened here, that was assigned to the 4. Now all the work process are busy,
Yeah.
right? Now fifth user wants to execute something, so it come here. Instance asks the dispatcher says all resources are busy. Then it will keep that user into queue.
Okay.
Okay, and after some time second user also wants to execute something, so same happen, he is also in queue. At any time any one of the user may complete his work. If complete his work, automatically the work process leave the user. Maybe the work process 2 is assigned to the instance 1, so user 1 is completed his work, so it leaves. So automatically the status changes to waiting. Then work process individual dispatcher, so I am free, assign the work. So it means dispatcher getting the information of status by the work process. Work process is intimating to the dispatcher whether it's a free or busy.
Okay.
Okay. So then now whenever the information is getting from the work process, then dispatcher will tell to the instance, please check in a queue, is there any user or any work. Then the instance will check in a queue. If any users are there, it will check who will come into the first. This is taken by first in first out basis, FIF.
Okay.
Then fifth user came in the queue first, then it will assign fifth user to work process 5. fifth user to work process 2. Okay, at any time any one of the work process history, then assign second user. Okay, whenever it's executing, if it required any data from the database, it will fetch the data, or if it want to write the data interface, it will write into the database. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now, so this concept we also called as a work process multiplexing. This concept we also called as a work process multiplexing. Sir, what is work process multiplexing? Now see, the work process 2 earlier work with user 1, right? Earlier work with user 1. Maybe that user is doing some another work. Now it's work with user 5. Maybe this user work is different. Single work process will manage the different users, may or may not, their work is same. This concept we call as a work process multiplexing. Got this point? Is this clear?
One, no, one
See,
second.
Yes. Tell me.
Just repeat that one. 1 second, please repeat this one.
Yeah. So see, the work process 2 earlier work with user 1, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he executed something.
Okay.
Now it's work with user 5.
Yes.
Maybe his work is different.
Hmm.
Single work process will manage the different users.
Okay.
May or may not their work is same. If both
Okay.
users work is same or different, this work process will manage. This concept we call
Okay.
as a work process multiplexing concept.
Okay.
Yes, is this
okay.
clear now?
Okay.
And
Hmm.
yeah, Chandra here.
Yes, Chan.
This work process, once a user go for a dialog work process, after committing of this dialog only, it will
Assign to the next user.
I mean, yeah, the next user maybe update programming or update
Hmm.
work process.
Hmm.
Then the user commits to that update, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So work process is nothing but handling whatever it may be the user request.
Yes.
So it is
See,
called as
see,
work
see,
process.
in SAP, whatever you want to do, you require a work process.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do in SAP, you require. Sir, I want to log into SAP, you require a work process. Sir, I want to execute the transaction, you require a work process. I want to enter the data, you require a work process. Whatever you want to do in SAP, you require a work process. If the work process is not available, you need to wait in a queue.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. So I'm saying that work process is intimating to the dispatcher whether it's free or busy, right? Okay, now I want to check it out. What are
Yes.
the internal components of work process? How the work process is intimating to the dispatcher? That I want to know. Okay,
Okay.
so now this is a diagram for work process. Okay, so in previous diagram you can able to see each and every instance containing n number of work process, right? So each and every work
Yeah.
process containing these internal components: task handler, a web processor, screen processor, database interface, and internal memory. So these are the different types of components have in each and every work process. Whenever work is assigned to the work process by the instance, it will strike from this side. Means initially it will take care of task handler. Whenever work is strike to the work process of task handler, immediately task handler is intimating to the dispatcher whether I am busy or free. Got it? How the dispatcher is getting the information from the work process? By the task handler. Task handler is intimating to the dispatcher whether it's a free or busy. Okay, now I am busy. Then task handler. So see, if I want to execute a Java program, you require a Java compiler. So in the same scenario, in SAP we are executing a ABAP program. So if you want to execute any ABAP program, you require an ABAP processor. Okay,
Okay.
so now whenever work is strike to the work process, then it will segregate that work and it will assign to the ABAP processor to execute. Whenever it's executing, if it required any data from the database, it will give to the database interface to get the data from the database. Okay, once it get the data, it need to give the screen processor to get the result to user. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay, and here we can able to see one more component, that is an internal memory. right? So that internal memory is 20 MB. So it means each and every work process we have 20 MB of internal memory. Okay, so what is the use of this internal memory, sir? Now, see, I want to submit an online form in internet. Let us assume I want to apply for the job in online. Okay,
Okay.
okay. So initially you need to provide your name, last name, and your education qualification. So everything you need to fill out, right? Okay. Once I filled out, so I can able to see some tabs with a star mark. So means that is a mandatory fields,
Yes.
right? Okay, so I forgot the phone number to provide there, so that is a star mark there, and I click on submit.
Okay.
So what message it will show us?
Error
Uh,
message.
What message it show us?
Please fill the.
Please
It
fill the
will show that
required field entries.
you.
Right, please
Yes.
fill the required field entries. Okay, now, okay, again I provided, I forgot to submit, I forgot to provide the another information. Again, it will show the same, right? So now
Yes.
I provided all the information, I click on submit. Then what it will show us?
Next page it automatically.
Maybe if
Then,
that is the last page, if in case.
Is successfully updated.
So successfully submitted. So if in case,
yes.
if the system or maybe the application is not showing that information, then what you thought for the first time? You successfully
It is not.
submitted, right?
Yeah.
The first time I forgot to fill some details. If it's not showing
Yes.
that pop-up, I don't know whether I submitted or maybe any error, right? So
Yes.
that the user confirmation is very important. The confirmation message is very important. In SAP also, whether you are executing anything in SAP, whether it's successfully updated or it may be saved or not. So whether it has any issue or maybe your authorization issue, if it shows the pop-up, then only we can able to identify whether the transaction is completed or not. So that
Okay.
information will need to store to the user. That information will be stored in internal memory.
Internal memory.
Okay, internal memory will show you only the confirmation details. But whenever it's
Okay.
executing by the work process, if the data is going to store, that will be in database only. The internal memory is for
Okay.
only confirmation message.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So now
Yeah.
this is only 20 MBs are how it useful for us. So now I'm using the work process. Now maybe I used 15 MB. Now that was
Okay.
assigned to you. Now you're using another 5 MB. Then what happened?
20
After
MB.
that, whenever user is using this work process, it will not show any confirmation message, right?
Okay.
So that's why whenever a work process is changed from user to user, it automatically restart.
Okay.
Whenever work process is restart, the internal memory means temporary memory will vanish and a new empty 20 MB space will assign to the new user. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is total about an architecture of SAP. So this everything is clear or any doubts here?
No, no, clear.
It's clear for me. Yes.
Everything is clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss about the types of work process, what is the use of work process, what is the functionality. Okay. So and what is
Okay.
central instance, what is database. So everything we will discuss tomorrow. Types of work process,
Okay.
types of instances. So till now no doubts,
Okay.
right? So if you have any doubts, ask me and you can post if you have any doubts. Personally, you can give in a WhatsApp message also.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So Murari, you
Yeah.
want to tell anything or Chandrasekhar or Jeevan?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. We'll meet on tomorrow at the same time, the same link. So you need to worry about the link. I no need to send every day. So you use the same link.
Okay. Fine. Fine.
Okay, thank you. I'll meet on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good night. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Right.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will send the recorded sections now.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, thank you.